Hello and good evening everyone, welcome back to a new video here. Today we are looking at some Master League battles here with Zacian, Giratina O and Yveltal. As always, if you guys like the video, make sure you drop a sub, maybe leave a like and a comment, and let's get started. So first match here we have Zacian versus Landorus. See here, we can just throw some player Fs here and let's see how our opponent decides to play this out. Stone Edge will deal a nice chunk of damage against us, but we should be fine here. See here, we can just shield and probably farm down. Let's see. I decide to let it go. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, here we can shield and farm it all the way down and make sure we have switch here. There we go. We have a good amount of energy. See what our opponent decides to bring in here. Opponent decides to bring in a Mewtwo here. So we should deal some nice damage with the player F. And then we have two answers for the Shadow Mewtwo here. I decide to hard swap in my Yveltal. See here. At this point, the Focus Blast should almost take out the Dialga here, but opponent decides not to shield this. Oh, this is good for us. This is the Shadow Mewtwo here, so I guess the Focus Blast will take us out, but we still have the Giratina O in the back, and GG's, well played. Next match here we have Zacian versus the Shiny Snorlax. We can deal some really nice damage with the close combat here as it is super effective, but opponent decides to swap in the Garchomp. Here we can throw the super effective player F. And opponent decides to no shield, so at this point I figure out that I can just shield and farm it all the way down. We do leave the Earth Power, but I would like to just preserve some health. But here opponents throw the Outrage, so it looks like she did not have the Earth Power. And in the back here there is a Togekiss, so I'm really happy to see this Togekiss here because we are double weak against Charmers in the back. You should be able to do another player F just fine. Let's see what our opponent decides to do. Opponent decides to shield. Can I reach the third one? Yes, I can, but the opponent decides to catch it on the Snorlax. But we still have the Giratina A for the Togekiss later on. Here I can just get in my Yveltal. We resist the Lick Fast move from Snorlax, so this is no problem for us. Let's see, we can take all those charge moves fine. Even if it would have the Outrage, we should still be fine here. We can just throw the close combat here and get this over. Focus Blast, excuse me, and get them with this Snorlax here. At this point, the Dark Pulse should deal some nice amount of damage here. Opponent decides to use the last shield. Here we can just farm it all the way down. We don't need to shield anything as we leave the Ancient Power and Flamethrower or the possible Aerial Ace just fine. Opponent decides to throw again. This is all good for us. We can just farm it down, no problem, and GG's, well played. Next up here we have Zacian versus Dialga. Zacian versus Dialga, we win this in the 0 and 2 shields, but opponent decides to hard swap in the Mewtwo. At this point, it looks like he wants to lure out the Dark and or Ghost type here, which he does. The reason why I go in with the Yveltal is because I would like to save my Giratina O for a potential Charmer in the back, like a Togekiss, because the Yveltal will really struggle. The reason why I don't farm more here is because I figure out if I keep a lot of health on my Yveltal, I can bait with the Dark Pulse and then reach a Focus Blast. But I will have to shield an Iron Head here, so I'm gonna shield it. And hopefully we'll take the second shield with the Focus Blast or just get rid of this, but the opponent swaps in the Kyogre. So then I'll just throw Dark Pulse. I'll switch into my Giratina, and this is a really bad matchup for Kyogre here, so we see a top left. GG's, well played. Next match here we have Zacian versus the Mewtwo. Let's see how our opponent decides to play this out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... So your opponent is 1 off back-to-back side strikes, so I figure out I'd like to try to catch this move. Here we do 1 fast move and catch it. We lose CMP against the Mewtwo, so I figure out I'd rather just catch it and save some energy on my Zacian. As a save swap here we see a Dialga here. Here I just go for the Focus Blast and will most likely get shielded. We do get the shield. And opponent decides to throw here. Let's see, do I decide to shield this? I do decide to shield this. Here I'll most likely only reach the Dark Pulse. Let's see here, yeah. I think I would have get farmed down there, so I could have just not shielded my Yveltal really. But we still took a shield here. Now we can just wait the switch timer a bit. And then we can throw the close combat because we did save energy after we swapped that from that Mewtwo matchup. We almost take the Dialga out. We just hard swap in the Giratina O and get off 1 Shadow Claw here. There's the Mewtwo again. So here is at 7, so what I'll do is I'll just shield the Shadow Ball and then I can farm a bit more before I take this out. But in the back there is a Landorus, so here I just get my Shadow Balls off right away. And we need to remember that Mewtwo is dry at this point, so I should be able to take this matchup easily here. Just draw the Shadow Ball. 2, 3, 4. Opponent decides to top left here or just gave up. Really not much he could have done there. Next matchup here we have Zacian versus Excadrill. See how our opponent decides to play this out. We'll deal some really good damage with the close combat here, and I can live and take a Drill Run or Rock Slide just fine. Opponent decides to stay in here. Let's see if our opponent wants to shield this close combat. Does get shielded. I decide to hard swap in my Giratina O here and get some nice farm. At this point it looks like he's weak against the Giratina O or particular Dark and Ghost in the back here. So here I figure out I'll just shield once. I do shield a Drill Run. Then we can get off a Shadow Ball, which most likely will not get shielded here. Shadow Ball does take out the Excadrill. In the back there is a Garchomp. The Outrage will take us out, so we'll just throw Shadow Ball as quickly as we can here. Now let's see, opponent farming up a lot here. I'm just 2 off the Ominous Wind. So here I can just let this go. It is Earth Power. We can wait to switch armor a bit, going with the Yveltal here. So here it looks like opponent is maybe running Outrage with Earth Power and not Sand Tomb, so he's running the Outrage. Here I just farm a bit more, throw the Dark Pulse. See here what happens. Decides with no shield. In the back there is a Metagross. Luckily for me I am a bit healthy on my Yveltal, so I should be able to reach double Dark Pulse here. So we just look at the health bar there and I'm just able to reach a Dark Pulse. And this will bring the Metagross extremely low here. Yeah, he's just like 2 HP and we hard swap Zacian and GG is well played. Last match here we have Zacian versus the Shadow Mamoswine here. Pretty cool Pokemon here. Mamoswine's Avalanche, they are 665, so we need to make sure we count them as the match go on here. We do shield the first Avalanche. Here I decided to go for the Play Rough. Opponent may think that I did the close combat, so we do land the Play Rough onto the Giratina O. And here I just hard swap in my Yveltal. At this point I figure out I can just farm it all the way down, even though I'll go over 100 energy. Because we resist all the moves from Giratina here. Let's see here. Okay, we just let this go, farm it all the way down. Back in comes the Mamoswine. Here I thought that he would have shielded his Dark Pulse, but he does not shield. Then I throw another one. This is kind of unfortunate here. I wish I could just have taken him out with 1 charge move there. In the back there is a Giratina with 2 shields here. So this is not the best here. So we'll throw the Play Rough here and hopefully we will take a shield. We really don't want this on the Giratina O here. Let's see here. So if I want to leave, I will have to shield this. I think it would have taken me out. Then we throw the close combat. Let's see here. Do we get the second shield? We do take the second shield. Here I just swap in my Giratina O. Here. Then we will land this Shadow Ball. I don't think it will take this out, so we'll see here. And just look at the energy management of that opponent. And we will see in the end here what happens when you really do good with your energy here. He has on 1 HP and does get off the Iron Head, so props to my opponent there. I should have won that game. The reason why I lost is just because he played way better, so that was a really fun match there. Really need to go back and watch it again and see what I could have done differently next time. If you guys liked the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment and maybe subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.